Hello everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make your game black and white with some exclusions that make your desired objects colored. But before we start, please like this video and subscribe my channel for more Unreal Engine tutorials. Thank you. Alright, first I'm going to add a new post-process volume to my level. So from this section here I search for post-process volume and I drag and drop it to my level. And now here I search for infinite extent and set it to true. And now this post-process volume has infinite bounds and covers my entire level. Now I'm going to create a new post-process material. So here I right click and I create a new material and I name it post-process material. Alright, now I open it up and here I set material domain to post-process. And now here I right click and I add a new scene texture. Okay, and now I set scene texture ID to post-process input 0. And now I drag a node from this color section and I search for desaturate. I add this desaturate node here and I connect this output to emissive color. Now I apply and minimize my material. And now here I select my post-process volume and here I search for post-process materials. I open up this drop-down menu and here I add a new element to this array, and in this section I select my material and I hit this arrow button. So now this post-process material that I just created is applied to my post-process volume inside my level. And as you can see now here everything is black and white inside my level. But now I'm going to do something more advanced and make some exclusion for some objects and keep them colored. So first I open up my project setting from edit tab and here I search for custom depth stencil path. And by default it is set to enabled, and I set it to enabled with a stencil. Okay, now I closed project settings and inside my level I select one of the objects that I want to be colored, and here I search for custom depth stencil value. First I should take this render custom depth path and here I set custom depth stencil value to, for example, 1. Okay, now I go back to my post-process material and here I right click and I add a new scene texture. And here in this scene texture ID section I search for custom stencil. Okay, and now here I drag a node from this color section and I add a new component mask, and now I uncheck the green mask because here I only need red mask here, and after this here I drag a node and I add this if node. Now this one is connected to A, and now I hold number 1 button on my keyboard and I press left click to add this constant value, and I connect it to B, and the value of this is 0. Okay, and here for A greater than B, I just simply connect this post-process input 0, and for A equal to B, I connect this to here, and also for B greater than A, I connect it to here. Okay, and I connect this one to emissive color. Okay, now I hit apply and I go back to my level, and as you can see here inside my level, everything is black and white except this ball. And now I'm going to apply these settings to my other ball. So here I keep it selected, and here I search for render custom depth pass. I set it to true, and now I search for custom depth stencil value, and I set it to 1. And for all values greater than 1, for example 2 and maybe 3 and so on, it will stay colored, but for values below 1 it will become black and white. For example, if I set it back to 0, as you can see here, it will be black and white. Okay, now I'm going to create an input for my character to enable and disable this post-process value. So first here I keep this post-process value selected, and now from this section I open up my level blueprint, and now here I right click and I create a reference to this post-process value. And here inside my level blueprint, from this event begin play, first I create a reference to my character. Here I cast to my character blueprint, which in this case it is third person BP underscore third person character. And for object wildcard, here I search for get player character. Okay, now I compile and minimize this level blueprint, and now I open up my character blueprint, and here I create a new variable, a type of boolean, and I name it black and white, and I leave the default value to false. Okay, now I'm going to add a new input. For example, I search for G key here. Now I add a flip-flop node, and here I drag and get a setter to this boolean variable. Here I set it to true. I get a copy here, and here I set it to false. Okay, now I compile and I go back to level blueprint, and now from this reference to my character blueprint I drag a node and search for the black and white boolean variable. Okay, and now from here I drag a node and add a branch node, connect it to here, and now from this post-process volume reference, I drag a node and search for set enabled. For true part, connect it here, and I set it to enabled. And now I get a duplicate from this setter, connect it here, set it to false, and connect this one to here. Okay, now I compile and run my game. As you can see, by default this post-process volume is disabled, but if I press G button it will be enabled, and if I press G button again I can enable and disable this post-process volume. Okay, if this tutorial was useful for you, please like this video and subscribe my channel for more Unreal Engine tutorials. Thank you.